Yep, that's right. We're doing a van again. This is a van that I have been very eager to get my greasy, ham-fisted, ham-hock hands on. This is the 2020 Ford Transit all-wheel drive EcoBoost. Move over, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. There's a new van life champion in town, and it is this, and it wears a blue oval badge, and it's awesome. Here's why this thing kicks ass. Punch it. And we're moving. So, I said it's the EcoBoost all-wheel drive version, and I was telling no lies. Under the hood is a 3.5-liter turbocharged V6 engine, and it makes 310 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. And yes, this has all-wheel drive. Previously, the only full-size van that had that was the Sprinter. And the Sprinter is great, but it's a Mercedes, so it's expensive. And anybody who's cool with a fun Instagram account has already bought one and transformed it completely. This is now the van to have, in my opinion, if you are looking to get into the van life set. Now, neither option is going to be cheap. Let me back up specifically, though, before I get into the specifics of price. This model specifically is a crew model. Prior to this, it was either a cargo van or passenger van. Cargo van means just these front 2 rows of seats, and then the world is your oyster behind you. Passenger van means many rows of seats, probably 14 passenger or whatever it is. This is the best of both worlds. This is 2 rows of seats, room for 5, and then behind that is tons of cargo space. This is a Transit 350, so this is a big dog, the big dog. So, these start at around $36,000, I believe. I built one of these online and it came to, I saved it somewhere, so I'm pulling this from memory. I think it was like 54 before I got into any packages I wanted. That was once you add the specific engine you want, the all-wheel drive, because you get these as rear-wheel drive as well. The other engine is a 275 horsepower, 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6, or a 2-liter turbo diesel 4, which I don't know the power numbers are, so I'll put them right here. This is the one to get though. 310 horse, 410 torque. Awesome. All of them get a 10-speed automatic. So the crew is cool because now I can put a car seat there, which it's not in there right now because it was in another vehicle. But my daughter has ridden in this and she loves it. I cannot put a car seat in the 2-seater. So if I wanted to, in my head, build out my dream, mountain bike hauler machine, it would be one of these. The Metris is cool. I still like the Metris, but I like more space here for both people and things. Now we're dealing with a much higher price tag, but you're getting a much more substantial vehicle. This has a great Ford sync system that works well. I would stuff some more speakers around here because it's a crew. It's for work still, so there's not a ton of sound system action happening here. But that's a minor quibble in a vehicle that's not designed to make, I don't know where I'm going with this. That's a minor quibble in a vehicle that's generally designed for work. So let's get back into why this is the better option than the Sprinter. Well, first of all, it's got the EcoBoost. You don't have to settle for the diesel like you do on the 4-wheel drive Sprinter. The only engine option there is the diesel. And it is a good engine, but it doesn't have the punch and the go like this one does. I built a Sprinter online, and before I added packages to that one, I believe I was at $63,000. So I'm $8,000 to $10,000 cheaper right out of the gate. Still tons of money for what is essentially a toy, but if you're playing in the space and looking to do that and you have the dough, why not save money on the back end of the build and start with a better platform in terms of your powertrain? I love this engine choice. I think you can spec this with an optional larger fuel tank. You can do a dual rear wheel setup if you want, dual at each side. You're not adding for a total of 4 wheels. That brings you to a total of 6 wheels. So it's a dually. It's a dually. This is not a dually. This is a singly. I don't think people call them that, but I'm going to call it a singly. The seats are comfortable. There's some decent color choices in the available palette of hues offered up. And it's a well-built Ford product. There's smart grab rails, there's D-rings on the floor, there's good LED lights when you open the rear cargo area, there's a side step on the passenger side. I think you can spec them all the way around, though you don't need one because there's no door on that side. You can do a power opening door if you want. There's just tons of options for these. And the Sprinter too, it has tons of options as well. And again, that one is a great choice. I just think this is like a cooler newcomer where you don't have to get the Mercedes anymore. You don't have to spend, as you're still spending a ton of money, you don't have to spend that much. And you don't even need to get this one. You don't need to option it the way I would option it. And you could I think you could probably start with an EcoBoost all-wheel drive for under 50, though I have to double check that. You might jump right to 50. I'll put that up on the screen and it'll either be a bing or a bang, depending on what I discover. But this thing feels quick. I just spent a day with the new Defender, which I'm shooting for a video for Auto Trader, still trying to get my hands on one of those for Hooniverse. I think this is quicker to 60 than the Defender. Car and Driver tested one of these years ago. It was the rear-wheel drive EcoBoost, and unladen, they ran 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds. I feel like this one might even be quicker. Imagine that. What if this thing is like 6.5 seconds to 60? That's nuts. I don't know if it's 6.5 seconds. I would love to test it. I would love to do like van drag races, which would be like, I'm sure 7 people on the internet would care to see that, but I would be laughing and having fun the entire time. I got to team up with another outlet and make that happen somehow. So this thing is way quicker than it has any right to be. Hopefully I can come to a stoplight and show you what I'm talking about here in a second. Because if you're punching it from the middle of the road, you can sometimes hear some of the turbo noise too, which is fun. And then because I'm stupid, I'm daydreaming about putting 1552 wheels on this, since it's Ford, stay that route because they have a great relationship with Ford products over the years. Even though Kenny Block just jumped ship to Wheel Pros. And then I wonder if there's Mountoon parts for the engine, or if Cobb has anything, or Von Gitten's outfit. Where are you going? If Von Gitten RTR, if they make anything for the 3.5 liter, you can tune this engine. And you can get it closer to like Ford Raptor power numbers. And then we're getting just ridiculous dream van build stuff. I wish Hooniverse had a SEMA budget, because I wouldn't be showing up with like a Supra or a Mustang or any kind of sports car. I would show up with a Transit Raptor mountain bike mayhem machine. Could you imagine that? A Transit Raptor? It'd be the dumbest, best thing ever. And unfortunately, the only company that would build something like that would be FCA. But the ProMaster's ugly as shit. So I don't want that. I want Ford to make a Transit Raptor. And it would be crazy expensive, and I would love it. No one would actually buy it, and they'd sell 20 of them, and it would be one of the greatest vehicles ever made. But I'm getting off course here, daydreaming about my dream car. I'm gonna go uphill and floor it. I mean, it's pulling like a champ. This thing is a freight train. Now, I know there's nothing in it. I get that. You're gonna fill it up with stuff, and then all of this speed and power is gonna fall way off. But that would be with any of the full-size vans. So the Sprinter is quick enough, unladen, and then you add shit to it, and it's gonna be slow as dirt. This will just come back down to normal, and that's fine. But then again, go back to my power adder conversation. We've got something. We have got something here, Ford. Hire me, goddammit, for special van projects, because I've got some good ideas here. And again, niche market. I'm ready to admit that. We can even call this the Ford Transit niche market. I'm not stuck on the name. I think Raptor would sell better, but there's a product to be had here. I'm gonna smoke this old Econoline. Bye, bitch. This person's not a bitch. I'm sorry. Let's take that back. Excuse me, hardworking gentlemen. Faster, newer van coming through. I don't know what has happened in my life that I like vans so much now. Maybe it's because I've taken up the mountain biking. I've gotten more into driving things in the dirt too, so I'd want to take this camping with my wife and daughter and the dog. and I don't want to turn my Montero into a sleeper vehicle because that just wouldn't be comfortable. This would be comfortable. You could keep the second row and still have room for all four of us to be comfortable. And if my bike doesn't fit inside, there's room for a rack, though I would find a way to mount it that it did. I'd take this to a smart upfitter who would make this into a fancy pants machine in the back, and up front with that engine, it is an ass hauler. It is a hauler of asses, both literally and figuratively, and I need to find a way to make that happen. If I won the lottery, I wouldn't be buying Aventadors and McLarens. I would be doing ridiculous dumb shit with the Ford Transit.